One of our longest running community programming initiative shows from a town is that of the town of Munster, usually hosted by Dave Nellums, but not today. This was hosted by Wendy Mis and Chuck Gardiner. It's the Town of Munster show from November 18th of 2025.
Clerk-treasurer for the town of Munster. I am not Dave Nellens, so if you were tuning in this morning expecting to see Dave, surprise, it's me. And I have as my guest Councilman Chuck Gardiner.
I'm not Dave Nellens either, but I'm glad to be here. So thanks, Wendy, for inviting me.
Sure. Well, we have a lot to cover. So when Councilor Nellens asked if I would take the show, I gladly said yes, and we had a... Chuck is actually my plan B. We would like to try and get AIM in. AIM is short for Accelerate Indiana Municipalities, and they do lobbying for the municipalities and governmental units throughout the state of Indiana, and I've invited them to be a part of our show at one time, so at some point, stay tuned, we may see AIM here. So when they were unable to commit to today, I went to Chuck. Chuck and I have done this many times in the past couple of years. We've hosted the show, co-hosted the show, and we have a lot going on in the town of Munster, and we thought this is a perfect time to share. We've got the Munster Civic Foundation. That's where we're going to end the show. But before that, let's talk about last night's town council meeting. That's why everyone tunes into this show, is they want to know about the council meeting.
Everybody wants to know about the first and third Mondays of the month in Munster.
They do. They can't wait to tune in.
First and third Mondays.
Mondays.
I said
yes,
that, right? Okay.
Yes, you did. And then on Tuesday, they tune in on the edge of their seat to get the highlights. So last night at the council meeting, it was... We did additional appropriations. We kicked it off there, and we had a public hearing for that. We had a few public comments last night, which we always appreciate hearing from our residents. And one of the nice things is one of the residents had a public comment, and he emailed us in advance, and he said, this is what I'm going to be asking about. And so we were able to be prepared and have an answer for him.
And that's an interesting thing. You know, certainly asking questions, public input is great, but a lot of times public input, residents should always feel the chance just to email their counselors, email the town manager, email the clerk-treasurer, because the more information that we can get and that we can review with our department heads, I think helps a lot. And a lot of times you can get a better answer if you can send emails and kind of forewarn the council what's happening, because a lot of times the questions that happen at a council meeting is very hard to answer. But if we get those beforehand, or if you have the ability to wait a little bit afterwards, we can talk to our department heads and get a much better answer to people.
And then even if we answer it privately, then they ask it at a public meeting. It's a good thing, because that individual was probably not the only one that had that concern. So.
And that's a good point, too. Every person that has a question or comment, usually that means that there's 3 or 4 or 5, maybe even 20 people that have the same question. So we don't mind answering those questions, but we want to be as detailed as we can and really get to the point of what the question is about.
Absolutely. So, and our email addresses are all found online at munster.org. I always think one of the easiest ways to find it is to look at the back of the monthly News You Can Use, which is an email, which is a newsletter that is sent out with each water bill. If you don't get that, it's available online electronically. And if you'd like it sent special to you, just let me know. I can hook you up with that once a month. I have an email list of people that I send the News You Can Use to because they don't get it. So we had additional appropriations, and then we had the consent agenda, which is just paying our bills. We had a water leak adjustment on there, and so that went well. We had a couple pieces of old business. One was the additional appropriation, which was the authority to spend in some accounts that we weren't expecting, and to pay our debt service in this calendar year. And then we hit the other piece of old business was our salary ordinance. So we are done with that for the year. We're ready to go next year. So we have to set the salary for all elected officials before the end of the year. So we did that. And
it's also setting our salaries for our town employees for the next year, too. And again, certainly with Senate Bill 1, there's been a lot of talk about cutting back and everything else that way. I think we as a town council are very happy that we were able to still give our employees a raise and keep our health benefits the same and things like that. And we're concerned about the Senate Bill 1, but we're just looking at costs and efficient services, trying to make things more efficient, combine some of our expenses and also reduce the ones that aren't expected. But certainly, most importantly, we want to keep our salaries and our employees well paid and have great benefits. And they certainly we were able to pass that ordinance last night.
Exactly. It was nice that we got that through, and we're pleased. One of the other hot topics was under new business last night, and I know everybody out there is at their edge of their seat. Stop signs in Munster. We love stop signs. They keep popping up. They're like our new crop. We just water them. But in seriousness, we do take stop signs seriously. If you have a request or you see a need in your neighborhood or on a path you frequently drive, please let one of your counselors know. Myself, the town of Munster has a speed team, and the speed team is made up of representatives from Public Works, the police department, fire department, the town manager's office, and all of them work together. They evaluate it. They go out. There's some science behind it. They don't really just plant a stop sign.
Again, and stop signs, we certainly want to make our roads as safe as possible. We have, kids walking to school, riding bikes. Even last night when I was walking in after the council meeting to kind of let off some steam here and stuff, there's certainly somebody that blew a stop sign and almost ran me over at the corner of Elmwood and Fran Lynn. But at the same time, most of the people that are traveling in the town of Munster, especially in residential streets, are Munster residents. And we just ask everybody to kind of take a deep breath and really try to go the speed limit. It is very difficult. And I am as much of a fault as anybody else is. A 25-mile speed limit, when I look at my speedometer, oftentimes I'm going 28, 30, 32 miles an hour in that. I think it's very important that we have to look at each other and look at the cars that we drive and look at the drivers we're with and just say, guess what? If the speed limit's 25, we have to really try to reduce 25 because, again, a lot of time it's the road that, Munster is very it was designed very well that we could park cars on the side of the roads and we have plenty of space. But unfortunately, sometimes when cars aren't parked on the side of the roads in front of houses, that allows the streets to be wider and it's a little bit easier to go faster. Yeah. So I think, we certainly are going to encourage the speed team looks at this to make Munster as safe as we can, but a lot of it is going to be we need to make sure that everybody in town looks at the speed limit and tries to go the speed limit. And when they see a stop sign, it is very important that you stop completely. Yeah. I know it's very difficult to do that, but again, we need to make sure we stop completely because that is the other thing. We need to, a stop sign isn't as safe as it can be if people aren't stopping at them.
Yeah. Exactly. Just in there, it's your neighborhood. And how many parks do we have in town? 30 parks in town. We've got 5 schools. So in quite a few people. It's a very walkable community. We have a lot of neighborhood kids out and about. It's not uncommon to see kids playing on the front yards. So just be aware that you're not the only one out there.
And certainly we want to thank, the previous councils, previous administrations. Munster is very well planned out with that to have the schools in every once in a while, they're equally spread out. The parks are equally spread out. It's really nice, but that also means that wherever you're driving, you're within probably 5 blocks of a park. Yep. You're within a 10-minute walk to a park, which is great, but that means there's always people walking.
Yep.
So just be on the lookout, be aware of it, and we're going to try to do as much as we can as the town to make things as safe as we can.
Yep. So there's criteria that we use, and we try and follow that. So and then 2 other things. We had the LIT, the local income tax expenditure plan, which we shared with the public, and under the Redevelopment Commission, we had a TIF spending plan. The TIF spending plan did bring up a lot of discussion about TIF, what we're spending it on, what the plan is. And the plan, this presentation of the TIF spending plan is fairly new. I think it's 2nd or 3rd year that we've had to do it. And it just outlines what we think we expect we could, at worst case scenario, spend out of our TIF money. And all of these meetings and agendas are on the Town of Munster website, which is munster.org. And as a reminder, today is Tuesday, November 18th. And this is 8:30 in the morning that you're hearing this on WJOB.
And Wendy, yeah, and so people can, usually the YouTube video of that it's recorded and then brought up the next day or a couple days later?
Yes, it's usually posted the next day.
Okay.
So you can find it on YouTube. We have a Town of Munster YouTube channel. All of our public meetings are on there. We're required by law now to have them there at least 90 days, but we don't ever take them down. So if you're looking for something from the past, they should be up there. So, public meetings, we have, they're meant to be shared.
And I might be going a little bit out of order here, but we talk about public meetings, and we talk about boards and commissions. And again, tonight, the 18th here, we have tonight is the park board meeting in the afternoon. The BZA
At 5.
At 5. The BZA meets at 6 or 6:30.
It's 6, I think. They changed the time, so I believe it's 6.
And the Plan Commission then meets immediately following the Plan Commission. This morning, a little bit earlier on Tuesday the 18th, was a Board of Safety meeting. There's a lot of boards and commissions within the town of Munster. And one of the things that we as the council would like to do is really advertise these boards, what the boards and commissions do, and what are the opportunities for people, residents, to get on these boards and commissions. And we're going to have a coffee with the council tomorrow night, Wednesday, November 19th at 6 o'clock at the Munster Town Hall. We really invite people to come out there to learn a little bit more about what the different boards do. I already mentioned some of them, but there's the Munster Civic Foundation that we'll get into a little bit later. There's other types of boards that we really want to get as active and involved and engaged community as we can. So certainly we certainly invite people to come out Wednesday, November 19th at 6 p.m. at the Munster Town Hall to learn a little bit more about the different boards and commissions. And certainly if you can't make it, send your friends, send your wife, your husband, send your kids. Let us know, and if you can't make it, just let Wendy or myself know. We'd be happy to kind of give you some additional information about how you can get more involved in the town of Munster, how you can get more engaged in the town of Munster. And really, we need people's help. The more people that are involved, there's a connection that happens that we can have a stronger and more connected town.
And I like that we are looking for different people. We have a core group of people that we often reach out to, and we find that they're reliable. They serve on various boards, they come on various committees, and we keep going to the same pool. Munster's changing, it's evolving. We're getting so many new residents, many young families. We want to get them involved as well. And again, this coffee with a counselor at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, which is Wednesday, the 19th of November, at Munster Town Hall, which is 1005 Ridge Road. And you are encouraged, if you're unable to attend, let Chuck or myself know. We can get you an application for one of the boards. We can even send you a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, which is just a quick look at what the board responsibilities are.
And it's also coffee with the council and clerk-treasurer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so just make sure that if you don't want to just talk to the counselors, certainly our clerk-treasurer is going to be there also.
And I did the PowerPoint, so I made sure that I got that on there. It's coffee with the counselors and Wendy, the clerk-treasurer. Yeah, exactly. I made sure that I put it a little smaller print, but it doesn't have quite the ring that coffee with the counselor.
Understand.
That meeting was initially announced for Tuesday night, so don't come on Tuesday night. We're not having it tonight. We have other meetings. You're going to end up sitting in the BZA Plan Commission meeting if you come tonight, which reminds me I need to put a note on the door for that. One of the boards and commissions, I always like it. It's kind of a gateway board and commission. We have a very active community of commissioners on our Munster Civic Foundation, and Chuck is the president. I'm the secretary treasurer of the Munster Civic Foundation. And so, Chuck, tell us more about it.
Well, thanks. This Munster Civic Foundation was a civic foundation. It's a not-for-profit foundation for the town that was created back in the early 90s, and it was donated, or the initial donation was from the Community Hospital Foundation. It was a $2 million donation, and over the course of the last 35 years, we've been able to use the interest off of that really to better the town, kind of improve the quality of life items. Originally, there was the formation of the bike trails throughout the town. That was a big part of that. Some of the betterments, some of the beautification of the Munster Pool when that was built in 1990, late 90s, early 2000s. Some of that came from the Civic Foundation. Over the course of, 1999, 2000, 2004, we had a Blues, Jazz, and Arts Festival. and the Civic Foundation gave a lot of money for that after the chamber, kind of worked with the chamber on that. So really, the Civic Foundation is one of those things that we can do a lot of different things. And in the last 7 or 8 years, the Civic Foundation has kind of created a new avenue in town. It's to create a vibrant and involved and engaged community. And so what used to be the Civic Foundation was 5 counselors, or back in the day when it first started, it was 4 town counselors and maybe 4 or 5 residents in town. Right now, we have the clerk-treasurer, the town manager, are the executive secretary, executive director of this foundation. The 5 Munster town councilors all serve as an executive role. And then we have 20 residents. Yeah. 20 residents all serve as a 1-year term on the foundation. And in the last 4 to 5 years, we've had the Monarch Festival, the car cruise, the Centennial Park concerts on Monday nights, and then recently on Tuesday nights. The symphony, Northwest Indiana Symphony, has all been funded by the Munster Civic Foundation. In addition to, for many, many years, is the fireworks show. Yep. The 3rd of July fireworks has always been, or for at least the last 15 years, has been sponsored by the Munster Civic Foundation. And so we're this group of residents and counselors are really excited about what's happening. And I think we're starting to make some really good headway in this, making Munster a more vibrant, excited community. Yep.
And you forgot the public art component. So a few years ago, coming out of COVID, and we talked about it quite a bit on the WJLB airwaves, and you can still see them around town. There are 5-foot fiberglass tulips around town, and they each were done by different local artists, and they're pretty amazing. And we see that we have big sculptures from many years ago that we have throughout town. The horses on 45th. I know Heart to Heart Gallery, they have sponsored them around town. Yeah. We've got a baker, just fun. They're fun. And we've seen that there's an appetite for public art. And 2 women on the Civic Foundation that, as well as many others, but have really championed for public art. And now we have this Beauty in the Box project. We have 3 electrical boxes that have been decorated. They look great. They're fun. They're not green electrical boxes, and they're town-owned. Yeah. And it's a program that we're going to continue for the next several years. There are several boxes available.
Yeah, I guess I want to make sure we have really a shout out to Leanne Mellon.
Yes.
When you start talking about the tulips, I don't know if there was a person that worked harder doing the fundraising, the artist, all the things that she did. She worked with IU Northwest on designing that. So a big shout out to Leanne Mellon for all her efforts with that. And then recently, Deanne Hulsley and Liz Madronzak have done a wonderful job with the Civic Foundation, working with us on really creating this Beauty in the Box, which is the utility box artwork. And there's 3 of them up in town right now. Mm-hmm. One's at right across the street from Centennial Park. One's across the street from People's Bank on Columbia and Franlin. And I think the other one is over on 45th Ave. No, on Main Street, White Oak Avenue and Main Street. Okay. Is the third one. But again, part of what this is there's a buzz around town about art. Mm-hmm. And that's what we really like. And I think that's something that really shows the creativeness. It brings beauty, it brings a little bit of life, and it brings about that buzz. People talk, and we want people talking positive about the town of Munster. And certainly Deanne and Liz have done a wonderful job with these utility box artwork. And there's 36 of them in town. There's 3 that are covered right now. There's 2 of them that are committed to be covered in the spring. But if you or your organization or your business wants to see some more artwork in town, give us a call, because again, this is it's a fundraising program for the Civic Foundation, but again, it also brings artwork, and these decals, this artwork is going to be on these boxes for 2 years. And again, it's going to be a really neat thing to do. And certainly we've seen a lot of great buzz on What's Up Munster about this artwork and everything else that way. So
it's been a very good thing. So we'd love to see more. And anyone who's interested in participating, please let us know. We also have an upcoming event. Light the Night. Light the Night was something that was initiated through the Munster Civic Foundation. And we used it as an opportunity to bring some attention to Munster Town Hall. Some of the holiday decorations that we have, we turned it into a family-friendly celebration. This year we're shifting a little bit. The date has been changed, so if you see it on your calendar on a Thursday, don't come. There's really no one going to be at Town Hall on that Thursday. But on Monday, December 1st at 6 o'clock, we are going to light Town Hall. And a new component of that is with the Community Choice Council, which is overseen by Sergeant James Greist. And we have 20 trees, 6-foot trees, that local community businesses and organizations have sponsored. They will decorate the trees, and there's contests involved. There's a People's Choice. There's they'll be up on the Facebook page. On the Facebook, my Chicago is showing on the Facebook. And you'll be able to vote. And we're excited about this new addition. It's a little bit of a shift. We're not going to have no bounce house, no any of that, but we're going to do things like we still, I think, are going to have hot chocolate and things. Yeah. And it's right before the town council meeting. So come see us flip the switch, and then
the first Monday in December, which is December 1st at 6 o'clock at the Munster Town Hall, we'll be lighting everything up.
Exactly. It'll be fun. I also wanted to mention that we will be sending out a fundraising letter, which is something that we've done the last couple of years. The funding for the Munster Civic Foundation, we had received a gift from Community, now Powers Health, many years ago. And as Chuck mentioned earlier, we are able to use the interest on the account to fund these projects and programs. We're excited about the opportunities. One of the things that we've added for next year is a grant program through the Munster Civic Foundation. And we've met with a great organization yesterday. We had an introductory meeting a week or so ago.
Yeah,
Chuck, fill them in. What's going on with the grant program?
Well, and this is for all the people that say, boy, I wish we would have this in Munster, or I wish we would have that event, or we wish we'd have the wine festival back, or we wish we had a concert in the park, or we would have this. Hey, if you have some ideas, let us know. We're the Munster Civic Foundation. We're looking to bring energy, excitement, vibrancy, engagement to the community. And so we have a grant program. Any group, any organization in Munster that is interested in talking to Wendy or myself or anybody on the Civic Foundation, we have an application to fill out. Any kind of event that's going to, that you have an idea of between April and December of next year, 2026, we're asking that you put together some thoughts, put together the who, what, why, and when of that event. Bring it to Wendy or myself, anybody on the Civic Foundation, and we're going to work with you on trying to figure out the best way to fund that program and get that idea, from an idea stage to an event stage or a program stage. Doesn't always have to be events. It could be a beautification of some part of town. It could be beautifying this area, beautifying that area. But again, part of this is trying to get our residents involved and getting some ideas. Because again, certainly, I think we all fall into the same thing. We have our own friend group. We have our own people that we talk to all the time. And sometimes we only think about what's important to us. But we know that there's so many other people in town that have great ideas and so many other organizations. And sometimes the organizations want to do something, but they might not have the manpower to do something. So we are kind of the facilitator. We talked to a group yesterday that said, hey, they were looking to do a walk, and we said, hey, how about if you work with this group and maybe make the walk bigger? And they said, oh, wow, that's great. We never thought about that. So we want to be that facilitator, but we also need your ideas as Munster organizations, neighborhoods, residents. Go to the Munster Civic Foundation site. There's a grant application right on townofmunster.org or munster.org, the website, and look at that information. Give Wendy a call. Give myself a call. But we want to know what the who, what, why, where of that. And again, we're offering $5,000 grants. If you're working with another organization in town, we can maybe expand that grant money a little bit. But we really want to make sure we find some new and energetic ideas that can last for the ongoing for 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years. So we can start out this year with the first event, but nothing's better than seeing the 10th annual or the 20th annual event.
Exactly. It'd be nice to see that. And the public, have different ideas than Chuck and I and our group. So bring your fresh ideas. We're excited about them. We wouldn't have had a diversity dinner without that. We wouldn't have Cruising on the Ridge without that, or Monarch Festival, or Light the Night. Those are 4 new events really just created out of a desire to showcase something that we're interested in. So it's exciting, and we look forward to working with the public, with the residents, the local businesses, and see what kind of great ideas you have.
And again, a lot of the common themes with all that is connecting our community together, utilizing some of the unique things that we have in town. If it's Heritage Park, if it's Centennial Park, Community Park, those are some unique parks that some other towns don't have that we want to really highlight. And again, the other thing that we want to highlight is connecting our residents together.
Yep.
The more that we can bring our neighborhoods together, the more that we can bring our residents together, the more that people feel connected to our town of Munster, the better off we're going to be. And that's what really the Civic Foundation is all about.
It's exciting time in Munster, Indiana right now. All right, we're getting the wrap-up signal. I think we may have even gone a minute or two long. Chuck, any final thoughts you'd like to share today before we say goodbye?
No, I just thanks for letting me be Plan B. At least I was before Plan C. That's much appreciated. But again, certainly happy to be on the show. Happy to talk about the Munster Civic Foundation. Happy to talk about what goes on in the town of Munster, and also really looking forward to inviting people out Wednesday, November 19th, to the Boards and Commission workshop.
Yep, so that's Coffee with the Counselor tomorrow night to discuss boards and commissions. We look forward to that. It starts at 6 o'clock. We also have today the Park Board meeting, BZA Plan Commission, and then Light the Night and a regularly scheduled town council meeting on December 1st. We look forward to seeing you at all of those. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to Chuck Gardiner or myself, Wendy Mis, the clerk-treasurer for the town of Munster. Our information can be found at munster.org, and the easiest way to get in touch with us is to call our telephone line, which is 836-6900. There's a phone tree. I have my own link, and Chuck can be reached through the town manager's office. Thank you all. Have a great day, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks. Bye.
That was a Town of Munster podcast. Don't forget, you can go to Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and you can listen to the Town of Munster show. It's an audio-only podcast. If you want to watch the video, you can go to YouTube and just type in WJOB 1230 and navigate to the Town of Munster show. I'm Jim Diedlow. Until next time, see you later.